Imagine this. A heartbroken billionaire mother kneels alone at her only son's grave on the 5th anniversary of his death. She's one of the richest women in the world, but right now she's just a broken mom holding a single white rose, tears streaming down her face. She wants one private moment of grief, but her sacred moment is suddenly ruined. Standing right there is a weeping janitor, holding a little girl's tiny hand. What happens next will shock you to your core. Because that poor janitor and that little girl didn't just interrupt her pain, they revealed a secret about her dead son that she never knew. A secret so powerful, so beautiful, and so heart-wrenching that it completely changed her life forever. This is not just another emotional story. This is the moment a billionaire's frozen heart melted, and a little girl's life became the greatest gift her son ever gave. You're not going to believe what she does next. If you love stories that make you cry, smile, and believe in humanity again, stay until the end. Hit that like button right now if you're already hooked, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss these powerful stories, and drop a comment below. Where are you watching this video from? Tell me your country right now. Eleanor Harrington stepped out of her black Rolls-Royce Phantom, her Louboutin heels sinking slightly into the soft grass of Oakwood Memorial Gardens. The morning fog still clung to the headstones like a gentle veil. It was the 5th anniversary of her son's death, and she had come, as always, for a private moment of grief. At 52, Eleanor was one of the most powerful women in the country, CEO of Harrington Global, a conglomerate spanning tech, real estate, and pharmaceuticals. Forbes had crowned her billionaire mom in a profile that focused more on her charity work than her boardroom dominance. But titles and wealth meant nothing here. Here, she was simply a mother who had buried her only child. She carried a single white rose, her late son Michael's favorite. Her black coat billowed softly in the breeze as she walked the familiar path to Plot 47B. The cemetery was nearly empty at this early hour. Perfect. She needed solitude. As she approached the grave, Eleanor slowed. Someone was already there. A man in a faded gray janitor's uniform knelt before Michael's headstone. His broad shoulders shook with quiet sobs. In his large, calloused hand, he held the tiny fingers of a little girl no older than 6. The child wore a simple pink dress and scuffed white shoes. She wasn't crying, but her big brown eyes were fixed solemnly on the marble stone as if she understood the weight of the moment. Eleanor's perfectly composed face tightened. This was her private ritual. Her pain. How dare a stranger intrude? "Excuse me," she said, her voice sharp but controlled. "This is a private visit." The janitor lifted his head. His face was weathered, with deep lines around his eyes and a short salt and pepper beard. Tears streamed down his cheeks. He looked to be in his late 40s, though hard labor had aged him. The little girl turned her gaze to Eleanor, unafraid but curious. I'm so sorry, ma'am," the man said, his voice thick with emotion. He wiped his face with the back of his free hand. "I didn't mean to disturb you. We'll leave right now." He began to rise, but the little girl tugged his hand gently, anchoring him. "Wait," Eleanor said, surprising herself. Something in the man's genuine sorrow stopped her. "Who are you? And why are you at my son's grave?" The janitor hesitated, then spoke softly. "My name is Daniel Rivera. I work maintenance here at the cemetery and over at the community center downtown. This is my daughter, Sophia." The girl offered a small, shy wave. "Hi." Eleanor's eyes flicked to the headstone. Michael Harrington. Beloved son. Gone too soon at 23 in a tragic car accident. "I didn't know Michael personally," Daniel continued, his voice trembling. "But Sophia did." Eleanor frowned. "My son died 5 years ago. Your daughter would have been an infant." Daniel nodded, fresh tears falling. "That's right. But Sophia knew him in a different way. He reached into the pocket of his uniform and pulled out a small, worn notebook. With shaking hands, he opened it to a page filled with childish drawings and simple words. Sophia has a condition, a rare heart defect. She needed surgery when she was 3. Expensive surgery. We couldn't afford it. I was working 2 jobs already, and her mother, she left us when the bills piled up. He swallowed hard. One day, a young man came to the community center where I volunteered after my shifts. He was there for some corporate volunteering thing his company made him do. Tall, confident, expensive watch. Michael Harrington. Eleanor felt her breath catch. He saw Sophia playing in the corner, struggling to breathe after running just a little. He asked questions. A lot of them. Then he disappeared for a week. Next thing I knew, the hospital called. Someone had paid for Sophia's entire surgery, follow-up care, and even set up a trust for any future needs. Anonymous. But I found out later through a nurse who recognized his name. Daniel's voice broke completely. That young man saved my little girl's life. He didn't have to. He could have just signed the volunteer hours and left. But he stayed. He played with her. He read her stories. He told her she was strong like a superhero. Sophia called him Mikey the hero after that. The little girl nodded earnestly, squeezing her father's hand. Mikey gave me a new heart. He said I could run forever now. Eleanor's rose slipped from her fingers and fell onto the grass. Her knees felt weak. She had spent years wondering about the last months of Michael's life, the parts he never fully shared with her. He had been pulling away, spending more time away from the family business, talking about wanting to do something real. She had dismissed it as youthful rebellion. Now she understood. Daniel continued, his words pouring out like a dam had broken. Every year on the anniversary, I bring Sophia here. I tell her to thank the boy who gave her a chance to grow up. I cry because I never got to thank him myself. I never got to tell him that my daughter started school last year. That she's top of her class in reading. That she wants to be a doctor so she can help other kids like her. Sophia looked up at Eleanor with innocent eyes. Are you Mikey's mommy? The question pierced Eleanor's heart like nothing else had in 5 long years. She nodded, unable to speak at first. Yes, sweetheart. I'm Michael's mother. Sophia let go of her father's hand and walked over. Without hesitation, she wrapped her small arms around Eleanor's waist in a tight hug. Thank you for sharing Mikey with us. He was the best hero. Tears, real, unfiltered tears, spilled down Eleanor's perfectly made-up face. She sank to her knees on the damp grass, embracing the child who carried a piece of her son's kindness in her very heartbeat. Daniel stood back respectfully, wiping his own eyes. I'm sorry we ruined your private moment, ma'am. We'll go now. Eleanor shook her head, still holding Sophia close. No. You didn't ruin it. You completed it. For the next hour, the 3 of them sat together by the grave. Eleanor shared stories of Michael as a boy, his stubbornness, his laughter, his dream of building schools in underprivileged areas. Daniel shared how Michael had spent an entire afternoon teaching Sophia to tie her shoes during one of his visits to the center. Sophia drew a picture on the back of her father's notebook, a stick figure boy with a cape, holding hands with a smaller girl whose heart glowed red. As the sun climbed higher, burning away the morning fog, Eleanor made a decision. Daniel, she said quietly, how much do you make working here and at the center? He shrugged, embarrassed. Enough to get by. We're doing okay now, thanks to your son. I want to offer you a job. And a home. There's a guest house on my property. Sophia could attend the best schools. You could be part of something bigger. Michael would have wanted that. Daniel's eyes widened. Ma'am, I don't need charity. It's not charity, Eleanor interrupted gently. It's family. Michael chose you both, even if he never told me. The least I can do is honor that choice. Sophia looked between them, hopeful. Can I have a big yard to run in? Mikey said I could run forever. Eleanor smiled through her tears. You can have the biggest yard. And a dog. And anything else your heart desires, sweetheart. Daniel hesitated only a moment before nodding. If it means Sophia gets every chance, then yes. Thank you. They stayed until the sun was fully up. Before leaving, Eleanor placed the white rose on the grave. Beside it, Sophia carefully laid her drawing. As they walked back toward the Rolls-Royce, Sophia skipped between her father and the elegant billionaire, holding both their hands. Eleanor glanced back at the grave one last time. For the first time in 5 years, the weight on her chest felt lighter. Her private moment of grief had been interrupted, yes. But in its place, something far more precious had been born, a living legacy of the son she thought she had lost completely. Michael's kindness had saved a little girl's life. And now, that little girl's hand in hers was saving Eleanor's heart.